Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? Because it's time to put them on. Because the conversation starts now. All right. Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. This is the location, the spot, where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. And today is no different. We got a superstar. Okay, we got Dagmar Torres. She is a veteran. 24 years in the military, girl. You know I'm going to have to ask you about that. She's an author. She's a podcaster. And she's working with veterans that are experiencing trauma. I don't know who's not experienced trauma, but veterans are different. But I want to talk to her about the female veteran, the one that they're not really shining the light on, the one that they're not giving, yes, preferential treatment, because women go through a different set of circumstances. And I want to hear what she's talking about on her podcast. So without further ado, let's welcome her on the edge. How are you, Dagmar?
Thank you for having me here. I'm doing fantastic.
Oh, and you look like it too. Where you get that name from, Dagmar Torres? That seems
Oh my God. Well, that's the shorter version of my name. I am from Puerto Rico originally. So I get to, we get the first name, the middle name, and the two last names.
Give me your whole name. Give it to me.
Dagmar Michelle Torres Rodriguez.
Oh,
so it's from Michelle
A to Z. Wait a minute. Dagmar
Michelle Torres Rodriguez. Yeah.
Okay. And if you get married, do you add another last name?
Well, you could add it, and then you have like 3 last names.
Wow.
But no, I'm sorry. I am a believer that if you get married, and I respect the women that do change their last name, but right. In my opinion, I'm getting a husband, not a father. So I was born Torres, so I will stay Torres until the day I die.
All right. Well,
who knows? I may hyphenate in the future. I don't know, but I like my name.
I like it too. I was thinking about that though the other day. I said, why can't the man take my last name?
Exactly.
But we're all together. So you were a veteran. You are a veteran.
Yes, I am.
Which branch of the military?
Army. I served in the Army for 24 years. I did, my MOS was a medical specialist or combat medic when I started, and then I switched into medical specialist title, and I was an instructor for 18 years out of my 24-year career.
Wow. Combat medic. Did you see any combat?
Well, I was an instructor during the war on terror. But I was deployed to Kosovo during peacekeeping. However, we got during that peacekeeping, that's what I quoted, like it's peacekeeping
right.
mission, because we had a lot of patients coming in because of the conflict that was going on between the Armenian and the Serbian people in Kosovo. So
yeah, I had an opportunity to ride on the military hospital ship, the Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a hospital afloat. I mean, they have everything that you could have thought of. And I really think that it is huge of the United States, or all countries actually, to lend their resources to help people in these very troubling times.
Yes. Yes. And if you imagine just having a hospital on the water, imagine that same setup on the ground is really impressive. And the amount of work that the soldiers do is twice of what you would do in a regular hospital.
Absolutely. So. Because sometimes, you're in places, you might run out of anesthesia, you might run out of, COVID, they didn't even have
ventilators.
Ventilators.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And then you're dealing with children and women. You don't speak the same language. It's a different culture. So hats off to you. So now you taught men and women. Yes. But what was some of the trauma that you saw that the soldiers experience, because you can't be in any kind of combat situation, whether you're helping others or helping ours,
Mm-hmm.
without some sort of trauma.
Yes. Um, a lot of the trauma that I saw and I experienced myself, it was a lot of it stress related. We worked 14-hour shift or 12-hour shift sometimes. Sometimes we basically work the whole day, depending on how the mission went. I was there when 9/11 happened. I was already deployed, so I was overseas, and everything was crazy. Like I was providing we had a detachment of the Marines, um, giving running on a mission, and we were giving them medical support off the post, so we were exposed when 9/11 happened. So it took us like 72 hours to get back on post, and like but overall, when it comes to trauma while in service, uh it is a lot of sexual harassment. You see a lot of sexual
A lot of stuff.
assault.
I'll say,
Yeah, a lot of
that's what
stuff
I said. I'll say it.
as
You
a
don't have
woman.
to
Yeah.
say it. Women are raped.
Yeah.
Women are brutalized. They are
Yeah.
stripped away from their families. Now, it's a choice. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. It's a
This
choice.
this this woman has chosen to be in the military, serve. You are a soldier first,
For
and
life.
you are a mother second.
Hmm.
Okay, but you are a child of God first.
Yeah.
Okay, and so it's very hard to distinguish. But you're in these situations, and then you come back, and you're expected to just fall right back in line. To be the mother, to be the wife, to be the daughter, and in your head, you've got so many things of what you saw, what you experienced. And I am not saying, okay, because I'm married to a military veteran. Uh, I'm not saying through the VA services any sort of support for women soldiers. And again, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. You're supposed to be a soldier first. It doesn't matter what your gender is. But there's a different set of circumstances, there's a different response there. I'm hearing that there is a high rate of suicide among women veterans because they don't speak out. They don't feel that they have a voice. I mean, look at the government. They just, rescinded our right to choose what we do with our body. I can only imagine what you would be subjected to, with your colleagues. But you do build great camaraderie. You do
Yeah.
build great relationships and friendships. Tell us a little bit about that.
So overall, I mean, it's not like when you are in the military service as a female, um, you, I mean, your life is going to be, sexual harassment or abuse all the time, or like that's what it is, the the end line or whatever you want to call it, right? It doesn't happen to every woman, but it happened to most women. The Army does has a what is called a SHARP program, which is a sexual assault and abuse response program. And the soldiers are responsible to everybody, like male and female are responsible to um, like report anything that they see, or like stop any situation that they might find their peers on. Does everybody does it? That's a problem. Not everybody see a report what they see. Not everybody take care of their peers or pay attention to what happening to them. And sometimes the sexual assault doesn't come from your peers; it comes from civilians.
Or
So
it comes from opposition.
yeah.
I could only imagine, okay, because I'm a scrapper, I would fight my way out of it. But if you were in a combat situation, Iraq, Iran, just using them as an example, and you're captured, the
Mhm.
first thing they're doing,
If you're female, you may expect that. You
yeah,
you
you're,
you
you're going to
totally
expect.
have. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then how do you blank that out? I mean, men, they're not
That I mean
they're not
that's
going to do that,
I mean I am blessed that I have not gone. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Between 2006 and 9, I went through a traumatic experience. I was raped by somebody I knew that I trusted, while I was on duty. Um, and I had two choices. I had the choice to, report it and go through the criminal justice system in Puerto Rico, and like, but at the same time, I didn't want that label within my unit, because if I reported it to my unit, even though it was a civilian, it's the process that you have to go through. It's like basically you have to relieve your experience, your trauma over and over and over again until the situation is resolved. So I had to make, and I made that decision for myself because I also was in a very tough financial situation. And I was like, do I pursue this? And I go to court and I spend money that I don't have in travel, because I was already living in the States by that time. And I was traveling to Puerto Rico to my unit. And, I had to make a decision. Do I spend all this money and resources that I don't have and put myself out there and be, beaten over and over again
Right.
through
You're as
by
labeled
this
as the victim.
by the
You
same
know,
system that is supposed to protect me
right.
as
But
a
then they
victim.
say if you're a soldier, you're supposed to be able to withstand anything,
Yeah,
and you were
it
supposed
is
to
not
overcome
easy.
and
It takes a
adapt.
toll. It takes a toll on you. And it definitely takes having a very strong mind to stay strong and keep your sanity. When you go through a traumatic experience like that one, you definitely, it's like the pain that you feel inside is like you're robbed of a part of you.
Oh yeah.
And it's not easy to deal with it. It's not impossible, but it's not easy. So it takes a lot. So
And then it also damages, how you may feel with relationships moving
mhm,
forward. You
yeah.
know, who do I trust? This person I trust, they've completely violated me. How do I
Mhm,
fall in love? How do I stay strong? How do I still have a self?
exactly.
I feel like I've cheated myself because I did not go through and prosecute this person, but then I felt like I saved myself because I didn't have to relive it over and over
Mhm,
again. So, what do you
exactly.
say to the woman that's in that situation right now that's dealing with that type of trauma?
Well, my advice is if you ask yourself what will give you peace. Will it give you peace just moving forward without reporting, or will give you peace moving forward reporting it? um if I were in a position or with the knowledge and wisdom that I have right now, talking to my old self, I will say go ahead and do it anyway. Go ahead and report it, because these individuals need to be, brought into justice. They need to face law, right? um but it is a very personal decision. And like I say, if you think that you cannot stand the process as a victim, then you have a decision to make. My advice is that try to try to find something. Try to um, put yourself into you know um, your studies, or try
A
to
support group?
concentrate, occupy your mind on something that will develop you, make you stronger, something that will give you peace. Go to church.
Yeah, because they say there's always God. There's always
Exactly,
God, but there's women
exactly.
support groups.
And
There
that's
should be
another
more.
thing.
There should be,
That's a
a rape advocate. You
mhm,
don't have. You may not want to go public, but you don't have to remain silent.
exactly,
Okay, you have
exactly.
to let. You have to get that off of you.
Yeah.
Because that pressure will. It will
It
crush you.
will take a toll. It would take a toll with time. It takes a toll, because then you will look back and say, I should have moved forward. I should have said something. I should have spoken for not only me, but the future women out there that needs you know, needs my support, you know. And a lot of women just shut up and they just like keep these things to themselves, especially when they're younger,
Yeah.
like a very early stage in their lives, and they're like molested or something, and they keep quiet and then have to move forward. I'm just gonna use one example of this: Oprah Winfrey. I mean, she was what, 8, 9 years old when she was sexually assaulted,
The first
and
time.
yet the first time, and yet look at her, like what a great role model. Like, even though despite that, you know, a part of her was stolen at a very early age, she moved forward. She finds something to give her strength to become the woman that she is today, and to speak about it too, and you know, in support of the women that are going through the same thing.
Well, even with
So
the loss of her child, I mean,
yeah.
she was pregnant,
Mhm.
and she lost the baby, and she opted never to re-enter that, but she is still here to be an advocate and to be a
Yeah.
support for other women that are going through that. There's other type of trauma, a lot of suppressed trauma. Okay, I know somebody right now that really needs some mental health um, assistance. I don't think they're at that point, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to turn you on, what's going to turn you off. There's a big stigma against mental illness in the
Yeah.
military,
Hmm.
okay? And they are afraid to get the help that they need because they don't want to lose their security clearance. But you do us and yourself no good if you cuckoo crazy,
Exactly, that's another
because
thing.
you're a trained killer.
Yeah. And the thing is, the military does have the services. You just have to, you know, look forward to it. And then obviously your doctor through the military, there are things that they cannot disclose to your commander and your chain of command. So, and if you feel like you are being discriminated or just apart, just placed into the side because you're taking care of yourself like you
Right,
should, right?
right, right.
Then you have also the tools to, you know, make a claim, you know, against the people that are discriminating against you, because you know you're taking care of yourself, because you're going to a psychologist or to a psychiatrist,
Mm-hmm.
or seeking psychiatric sorry, I can't talk today.
That's all right.
Treatment, right?
Right,
So
right,
so you don't feel a fear that you have to, you also put that part of you at some point in real life. Everybody, men and women, go to a point that they need to seek psychological assistance. The
absolutely.
word that we live right now, there's plenty of stressors, not only online but physically. And then you count all the things that are going in, like in a government and worldwide. I mean, it is a miracle that 90% of the population of this planet is not crazy.
I know it's crazy. It's
You know?
crazy. So
So
you know what I hate this as well too, is that the military really got caught up with the last administration. I can't even call it by its name, number 45. But it really got caught into a situation to where they wanted to make the military political. That was a very, very difficult situation for a lot of people, because people do have their own independent thoughts about whatever's going on in
I
the
will
world.
need a little bit more of detail what you're talking about when you
Okay,
say political.
well, Trump wanted the military to salute and honor him and be a dictator. Okay, he wanted the armed forces to do what he said and not follow the rule of law and what they're set up. They're supposed to be an independent party. They're supposed to
They
protect
are
the people.
independent.
No, they are,
They
and they fought against that. But it was so difficult because a lot of my friends were telling me there was such opposition internally. These are your brothers and sisters. These are your comrades. You make a commitment that you will not leave the battlefield without trying to bring everyone with you. And when there's such dissension among the ranks, it makes it a very, very difficult situation.
Okay, so are we talking about exiting Afghanistan? Is that what we're
No,
talking
no, no, no,
about?
no.
Because
What,
that
what I'm
didn't happen under the last administration.
No, what I'm talking about is overall. I mean, Trump wanted us to have this grand parade for him and all the military and a 21 gun salute, and he wanted them to.
No, those are like a, yeah, if are you talking about like the march for the 4th of July celebration when he requested like having
Just
the tanks
everything,
coming through?
yeah, just everything he was doing was in contrast to what I know of the
Hmm.
military and what I've studied of the military. They are here to protect and serve United States citizens. And it
Hmm.
appeared as if they were trying to use this for their own
Oh,
personal
you
gain.
talking about the Black Lives Matter protest
Everything, girl.
and the
It was 4 years of hell.
insurgencies that were happening in different cities. Okay, now I got it.
Insurgency
Okay, so
and what happened with the insurrection.
mhm. Okay, so I'm not gonna call it insurrection yet because it has not been confirmed by Congress as such
Okay. All right.
thing. So I don't want to place words in my mouth that
Well,
you
I'll
know.
say it. I'll say
Uh,
I don't have to,
so
and again, I don't want to put you in an awkward predicament, but I
and
will say it because I saw it with my own eyes. I've never seen anything like that before, and I don't need Congress to put the stamp of approval on something that I know. But that wasn't the point. The point was what I was trying to make is that it is so difficult to be in a situation like that you have to, go under the chief, whoever it is,
mhm.
and follow those rules. And in your heart, you feel that it's something, in contrast to what you
But
believe.
we, as a soldier, we have a choice. We have a
Do
choice as a
you?
soldier. Yeah, we have a choice. If we, when a soldier, and that's part of our creeds too. If you see that there is a lawful on order, you have the option and the right to oppose to that unlawful order. You don't have to follow through,
Right,
and
but you can.
you can call out on that officer or on enlisted soldier that is in charge to open that unlawful order.
Well, the thing
So
is you can call it out, but what does that mean? That means
no,
absolutely
you can
nothing.
call it out, and you can resist. You can say no, I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, well, and then you are put up. What is that? What is that called? You've been insubordinate. You're not following rules. It's a
Yeah, but they
double-edged
can,
sword.
but then they have to prove that you were on sober on so oh my god, I can,
Insubordinate.
yes. I can't speak today.
Well,
Jesus. I need another
it's a
cup of
heated.
coffee.
Right. Well, it's a heated debate, and like I said,
No,
I
no.
totally give everybody
I like debates. I like
yeah,
debates.
I love their point of view. But
Um,
I don't agree with that. I think that it's crazy, and anything that's going on, in the world, I feel bad for the people of Ukraine. I don't know. I don't live there, but I am a mother. I'm a
mhm.
wife. I was an employee. I'm, an entrepreneur now, and I see that just people just come in. They put these tanks, these guns, and I tell people all the time, you cannot fight a 21st century war with 1960 tactics. Marching is all cute and dandy. I love it. I love the people that are out there protesting. But now, what do? They put tear gas or they sick dogs on you. You don't have a right to say what you want to say. It's supposed to be in this free country in the United States of America. So it's really, really a challenge for civilians and the military that give their life. It's more than a paycheck. They give
Mhm.
their life and they
Yeah.
dedicate their lives to protect and serve. So
Um, I have a different opinion in regards to that.
tell me, girl.
Uh, well, when it comes to Ukraine, the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, I do not, I can't take one side or the other. I don't find that is correct, right, or right that Russia has invaded and attacked Ukraine the way that it has done it. But I also don't support Ukraine because Ukraine has been known for the last decade to be a very corrupt government. and abusive of their people too. So it is like it's like two bad people are fighting. I can take a side on either. My heart do goes out to the innocent, to the civilian population that is unarmed, that they cannot protect themselves, that they cannot find refuge or a secure place to be with their families, that they have had to leave their homes, their property, in all the commodities that they knew, because these two powers are fighting over a territory that the Ukrainian people was also, they said that don't want it to be part um, of the Russian country anymore. They were declared independent, I think, 1990 something, if I'm not mistaken. I can't recall exactly the year, but it's been a while since they were independent. And now Russia wants them back. So
no, Russians gonna take them back, but let me tell you, the Ukrainians are not going down like punks.
Oh no, they're not not going down easy either. Which is is the right of every country that gets invaded. They have the right.
I look at other conflicts in the world. I look at Israel versus Palestine. All of these conflicts, but you know what? Why does the United States always have to put our toe in the water?
Exactly.
Mind our own damn business. We've got people here that are hungry, that are starving, that
Thank you.
Yes. We need to pump our own gas. We need to be able to have our children go to school and them not wear bulletproof vests. We need to be able to have hospitals where people can go in and have the protective gear that they need. But the United States always, and around the world, from what I hear, is that we're kind of scoffed at. We're not the superpower.
No, we're not. We stopped being a superpower years ago.
I mean, the Chinese, you don't hear a lot about what they're doing. You haven't heard anything about that cute little Kim Jong-un, but they are working. They're working in the background. And so that's what I say. Now they're sending in drones. Now they're doing very targeted, very strategic type of missions. They are using...
Yeah, but they're also, I think that this administration, what they're doing, knowing that we are currently facing an inflation, and I don't support the fact that they're sending Ukraine billions of dollars, and not only in equipment, but in money, billions of dollars. Sure. Like, where is the people, the parents that are, in need of formula right now for their kids?
Right.
Like you said, how many homeless people we have in the United States? We have we have millions, and in between these millions are over 700,000 military veterans homeless right now.
Oh, sure.
And where is the VA? Where is the government supplying to the needs of these veterans?
Well, it just broke my heart too how the people of Puerto Rico were treated during the last administration. I mean,
girl, that's enough. That's
I
know. Let me take a sip. Let me take a sip for that one, because
it's horrible, and I still don't. It's quiet. It's not mainstream media. But if it's
it's not mainstream media because Trump is not in the presidency. But the things in Puerto Rico are still like are bad. The crime is continued to rise. A lot of people keeps leaving the island. Now there's a bunch of investors going to the island, buying houses, and now a lot of the Puerto Ricans have been displaced from the place they knew as home, and they cannot even, if they sell to these corporations or these entities, they can rent, but then the rent prices are all the way over the limits that they can afford.
They can't do it. And you know what?
They are displacing them. They're displacing them.
That's very, very rich. Very, very rich. So, and they're talking about going in and putting in some Tesla batteries to get the electricity. But no, nobody wants to do the right thing. They want to keep you under their thumb.
During Maria, the governor of Puerto Rico at that time was Ricardo Rosselló, and he talked to Elon Musk, and they sent for one of the main hospitals in Puerto Rico that they needed to, get it like running with electricity. There was no way to repair the electricity grid at that time, and Mr. Musk sent a unit of solar panels and the battery chargers. I don't know how that the system runs, but they sent everything to get that hospital running. Now, the question is, what has the government or the organization of that, I'll say, like the board that is in charge of the hospital, done with that system since they have the power back? Are they continue to use it? Have they given any maintenance? Have they, make a report on, this is what's so beneficial, let's implement this for future hurricanes and emergency, like part of our emergency plan, and rebuilding our the infrastructure of the island, because Maria destroyed everything through its paths. So I'm like, have they said anything? There's nothing. The news are not talking about it. They haven't. They have stopped. You know, reporting about the people that got affected with the hurricane and the earthquakes after that,
right,
as well.
So I want to talk a little bit about the risk versus the reward, because Elon Musk didn't do it just because he was a nice guy.
Oh no, obviously.
Okay, don't get it twisted, brains. Okay,
no.
He's one of these big time.
No, investors. It's all about the money. It's all about the money.
And and that's a doggone shame, because you cannot take the money with you. Money is nothing but a receipt. It's a vehicle of exchange. It's energy.
It's a tool.
It is a tool.
That's how I see money. Money is just a tool. It's a tool for you to achieve whatever you want to achieve in life. But you should not become attached to it, because it's nothing that you can take with you at the end.
No, now you shouldn't be, you shouldn't be penny wise and pound foolish. You shouldn't do that. Or what is it, pound fool? No, I said that right. But you really shouldn't do that. You should be smart and be an investor. However, really think about dirty money, blood money. People that are, I look at drug dealers. They are killing people every time.
Yeah, but that's the thing, that the United States as a whole has had, I think that since the 80s or maybe before that, the opportunity to stop the underground economy that is really running the nation. Because it runs the nation, it runs the economy, it runs everywhere.
The world. That's what the Illuminati's are. It runs the world.
It runs the world.
It's a secret society of individuals, and you get all these yahoos from I don't know where, believing conspiracy theories and thinking that it's going to benefit them. It's not. It's not designed to benefit you. It's like the Pied Piper. Things are designed to lead you into a destructive mindset. It's mind control, brains.
Yep.
Okay, and you need to get your head around it and be able to separate fact from fiction. Yep. But fact versus fiction is a matter of perception, because what we perceive is not what everybody else's perception.
Exactly.
And so, you have to be very careful. But I was glad in a way that, number 45 surfaced, because it lets me know the people that are around me. If we're in alignment, again, me and you, we just agreed to disagree. You can do that. That's a spirited conversation. People are not allowing each other space to have a different opinion.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I learn from that. I grow from that.
I think the narrative right now is it's so polarized.
Yep.
Out there that people is not using reason anymore.
No.
It's not using, and they're not having healthy conversations about the things that are crucial in our lives, in everything that surround us.
And I mean, I don't know how old you are, but I'm on the second
45.
half of my journey. Huh?
I'm 45.
You're approaching it. You're on the second half of your journey. Do they think about their grandchildren? Do they think about their children? Do they think about the world? They don't think about the water, the air, the animals, the food. People just don't care about anything. But what they do care about is your book. Tell me a little bit about your book and what's inside the pages of your book. Do you have it there with you? That's pretty. So,
yeah.
all right. So put it up and hold it up.
Dauntless creating your blueprint for success.
What's inside the pages of that?
It is my story, how I transitioned from being a soldier, from a soldier mentality towards an entrepreneur mentality, and how I translate my military skills into my business. So that's what they're going to find there.
Tell me a little bit about the discipline and some, 2 or 3 key takeaways that you have been able to transcend and pivot and put into your entrepreneurial work from your military training. I know being on time is one of them.
Yeah, time management, that's one. Time management. The other thing is planning, making risk analysis. Everything that I'm gonna work on, I always do a risk analysis, making sure that things are aligned with the plan, and that I always try to see if there's any results that are maybe unexpected. So I try to plan for any circumstances or obstacles that I can find in the way. And I also talk about how to work with your mindset, and also how to use your pain as a fuel, as fire, to continue moving forward.
Now, can I ask you a question? Do you, maybe not you, but other people in that situation, sometimes they fall into the overachiever syndrome. When people make that transition from military life to civilian life, a lot of times people that are interviewing on the civilian side look at this person as very regiment, very matter of factly. It's like my son. If you tell him XYZ, it damn sure better be XYZ. Don't throw a P in there. There's no curveball, because, again, for 26 years, he's about to retire here in a couple days. But after 26 years, he has a certain way of doing things. And that can be a stressor as well.
It is a stressor, because
how long did it take you to kind of decompress after you left the military and found your way in the civilian world?
For me, I'll say it was easier than most veterans when they retire, because my service was within the reserve side. I was not full-time active duty. So I had the ability to have some flexibility and switch my mindset and the approach on how I did things from civilian to military to civilian all the time, because I had to do that on a monthly basis. And sometimes as an instructor, I also had to, leave my job to go and serve in the military for maybe a month, 2 months straight, and then come back to my job, my regular job. So I have that flexibility, but still it was hard, because you get used to, having things in black and white. And when you're working with civilian population,
it's a lot of gray.
It's not only a lot of gray, is that people just say they don't see things with urgency. They don't see the right. urgency of things. They don't work with deadlines that often. Only a few people work with that kind of mindset. And you will have people that will resent you because you have the opportunity to leave your job and then come back whenever you want to. I had one coworker told me that one time. I was like, well, it's not because I want to, it's because I've been told that I get an order. It's like, right. There you go, how you right. have to go.
Right.
But I did it all with love, and I love my job, and I love what I did in the military, and I probably will do it all over again. Yeah. If I had the opportunity. So
well, not me, because I worked on because honey, I worked on the military on the recruit depot, even MCRD, and drill sergeants would come in and he'd be talking all froggy. And I said, what's wrong with your voice there? It's froggy, ma'am. It's froggy. And I see him spitting it all in the guy's face and, making him do things. But they have to break you down.
Yeah, they have to break you down to build you. Yeah.
But you know what?
Just like life, just like life. Now, today is different. I heard the way that they train soldiers these days is not like in the way when I was trained when I went in. When I went through my basic training, we had no phones. We had to make a line one time per week that let us call home. Mm-hmm. And then you will have to make a line to use the phone, and you will have a certain 10-15 minutes to talk, and that was it.
But that's very important, and I say that with due respect. No, me, I'm rebellious. They would send me home, or I would.
And today, the soldiers they have their cell phones with them. But they have their own room.
They're a lot softer. I go in the military base. I'm getting ready to go now, but there is it's definitely different. It is and different. The way that people carry themselves are different. The way that they speak to one another, the way that you can discipline, the way that you can reprimand. Everyone is so touchy-feely about, a discrimination of this, a discrimination of that. That's, I don't know, is that what I want to see in my military? I want to see men, women, straight, gay. I want to see you strong. I want to see you bold. I want to see you resilient. I want to see you care about your colleagues and your comrades. I don't want you whining, crying, and complaining. That's not what I want in my military that's going to protect and serve me. I don't know. Am I wrong?
I mean, I think that it, in my opinion, right? It doesn't matter how much flexibility or how much openness you have within the ranks or within the system. There's always going to be somebody that's going to be happy with it. Right. From each side of the aisle. It doesn't matter. It's going to be somebody that's not going to be happy with it. And it's always going to be this person that's going to complain for everything, because inside and out, you're going to find that person that is going to complain about everything, right, even about the air, right. So
but see, there's a code of ethics, and there's a standard.
Yeah, but I think it all comes to tolerance. It comes to tolerance. How tolerant can people be?
I don't need you to be tolerant. I need you to be strong. I need you to be accountable.
But for that, you have to have some certain level of tolerance.
But you gotta be
strong. You have to have a level of tolerance to be strong.
I don't know. I think tolerance is more of acceptance. I think you have to have a certain amount of discipline. It's like an unruly child. Mm-hmm. You only gonna do something at my house 1 or 2 times, and then there's gonna be consequences. Okay.
Exactly.
So there should be consequences for people's actions. But when you are put in these situations, again, remember that you signed up for this tour duty. It's different if it's a draft. You signed up, so you committed and you took an oath that you were going to follow these particular rules, these guidelines. You was going to wear this uniform, and this is what you were going to get in return, which I see that the military, the veterans, VA administration has not done the best job. Well, we can go back to Vietnam. They do not do the best job when it comes to
I think that the fault that the VA may have right now and has had for a long period of time is the fact that they make it very difficult, right? There's a lot of bureaucracy in the system for the soldier to be able to get access to the benefits. I think that's the problem, because I'm going through claims right now, and they ask me for this, they ask me for that, and then they take the time, and you have a certain amount of a period of time between the time that you submit your claim and then you submit the paperwork that that support that claim. And then you go to another process and another process. And sometimes, that can make the soldier feel very frustrated. And I have been there. So I completely understand. And it's
Yeah,
the
it's
fact
really
that the
frustrating.
difficulty, the level of difficulty that they have within the system that they had established for allow the soldier to get access to the benefits. But
Well,
it's not
and
like the
you know what?
benefit is
And
not
it's
there. The
even,
benefits are there.
yeah, but paperwork. Again, like I
Yeah.
said, this is the 21st century, going to the 22nd century, and all this paperwork. That's
Yeah, and then the problem is that you have to submit that paperwork online.
Oh, well, girl, let me tell you, I tried to get a VA certificate for some property, girl. It was an act of Congress for real. But I
It
understand
is very
there's a
difficult.
gazillion people. But are people going to go back and look for that? All you need is an ID card and a DD 214 and go to the VA and get it done.
Then
It seems so
let me
simple to
let
me.
me tell you something. I retired in the middle of the pandemic, so I retired in the middle in June
Ooh,
30th, 2020,
oh wow.
right there in the middle of it. And I didn't have a retirement ceremony like everybody else because obviously the situation that we were going through. And to get an appointment to get my ID as a retiree, as a retired um, person, guess what? It took me a year and 2 months to get
Wow.
my ID card done.
All the things, all the appointments and everything that you have to get. But
Mm-hmm.
as again, like I say, the risk is worth the reward because you got VA benefits that do work,
Yeah,
college,
everything.
to be able to purchase a home, to have
Mm-hmm.
medical.
Yep.
TRICARE for the rest of your life for you and your dependents. You're
Mm-hmm.
able to share um, that VA with your children for them to go to college. You
Mm-hmm.
have the GI Bill to go to college. So there is a lot. One sad thing, I used to be the person that would teach the AmCross messages from the American Red Cross. And I had a young couple that had come in, and I was teaching her how to contact her husband in the event of an emergency, if she needed to, get the allotment, yada, yada. And she was just looking so sad because I don't know what it is. I mean, they're being the military, and as soon as they're out of boot camp, they in the exchange girl getting that diamond ring, marrying somebody. I don't know why they do it. And I told her, I said, honey, don't worry about it. I said, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. Well, he wasn't fine. 6 months later, I saw him come into the exchange where I was working in the cosmetic department with 2 missing limbs. And he looked at me and he go, how you doing, ma'am? You remember me? And I just felt my stomach just welt up. And he had got a signing bonus. But because he couldn't complete his tour of duty, he didn't get a signing bonus.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
he sacrificed his limbs for our freedom. And there's people that'll say, oh, the military, it's brainwashing. Well, you know what? It's a form of discipline. Religion is brainwashing, to a degree. Uh, Cults are brainwashing.
Well, cult and religion is brainwashing.
Yeah.
But when you read the Bible, carpet to carpet, book by book, verse by verse, you discover that a lot of the things that people are preaching out there are not even
they don't
are not even half of it is not even in the Bible.
Right.
Because the problem is that there goes this sects or cults or groups, religious groups, and they take one verse out of the Bible and then they found this new theology out of it. Right. And then you go, and that's why a lot of people are not even, identified as Christian anymore and going to church anymore, because they go out the same way that they go in. They come out empty.
Right.
Because the actual word is not being taught.
But what I always say is you find your own personal relationship with God. Because see, baby, my line is never busy. And read it for yourself, your own interpretation. Yeah. I can make a recipe for some, some I don't know, some great enchiladas. and forget the cumin. And you put the cumin in it and it tastes totally different. Everybody has their own way of doing things. So brains, use your brain. Before we conclude, Dagmar, this has been such a spirited conversation. I love it. Tell us a little bit about your podcast and how to get in contact with you.
Oh my God, my podcast. Well, let me tell you a little bit about how I fell into podcasting. um, it was also, in the middle of the pandemic, and I was like going to these different Facebook groups and listen to all these success stories. I was like, oh my God, all these people having this success and building a business and going entrepreneurship. And I was amazed. And I was like, people need to hear about this. And then I checked if I could share some of these stories, and I couldn't because the groups were private. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you keep this secret? And I was like, no, I'm just going to start making Facebook Lives. And then by the third Facebook Live that I did, I started having friends and people in my profile writing to me and telling me, I like what you're doing. And then a good friend of mine, two of them, they were like, you need to turn this into a podcast. I was like, okay, I'm going to turn this into a podcast. Mm-hmm. And I was like very reluctant to kind of like go that way because in my family, my uncle used to do a lot of radio. He did a lot of recordings for artists. He composed one of the hymn of the municipality in Sabana Grande. He wrote the hymn, so he wrote the lyrics. So he composed music. He helped editing. He helped recording. And I remember, as a child, maybe going in the middle of his recordings while he was live, and he trying to make me talk to a microphone, and I was like running the other way. Like I didn't want to do anything with it. And then my father for a period of time also had a show in the morning on Sundays in the local radio station. So, but I was like also staying away from it. I don't want to do this. And then kind of like thinking about, being live right now on social media, you go live, you are exposed to the world. It's not just your local region.
An independent news source, and people are relying on you to have fact-based information. And that's why I really, that's, again, I've got an opinion. I've got a right to my opinion. I stand firm on my opinion, but I respect the opinion of
other people.
And that's
that's how it started. And then I turned it into a podcast, and then I started like doing it. I do actually the podcast once or twice during the week, and now he broadcasts Monday and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And now we are in Pandora, Amazon, we are in Spotify. We recently got into iHeartRadio, which is a great achievement for me.
Yeah, so tell us the name of your podcast.
Be Fearless Podcast.
What is it?
Be Fearless Podcast.
Be Fearless Podcast. And so who's housing that? I mean, where do you go directly?
I was with Anchor. I currently switched to Podbean.
Okay.
So because Podbean gives you the website for the podcast, so just for technicality, because Anchor did an amazing job with me, and I have no issues with it. The platform, I love it, and they help me to grow. But if I wanted to take things to another level, then I search for another platform. So it's now out of Podbean. It's being hosted there, but it actually distributes to all these other platforms.
Right, and that RSS feed, Yeah. And like I said, I've been doing it for 17 years, and I absolutely love it. And I absolutely love you. So tell my brains how to get in contact with you. Hold that book up one more time. I want people.
Okay, let me take the blur again.
Okay.
Let me take that out. Okay, there you go. So Be Fearless Podcast, the book Dauntless, creating your book, your blueprint for success. You can get it
Put
on
it down so I can
Amazon.
see your, I want to see your pretty face next to the book. Absolutely. There you go.
There you go. So you can get it in Amazon. It's in paperback and Kindle. The paperback got updated 2 months ago. I'm in the middle of updating the digital version, but you can get it as well. Podcast, you can find the main page in Facebook, Be Fearless Podcast, and the YouTube channel, and on YouTube by the same name, Be Fearless Podcast. We are, like I said, in Amazon, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, you name it. There's so many that I can even, I will not stop if I start listing them, but just do a Google search, you find it. You can definitely leave me a message through Facebook and Instagram at The Success Strategist, and you'll find me there as well. I am very good answering my DMs, so I'm here.
Awesome. She's here, she's there, she's everywhere. Again, I want to thank you for your dedication. I want to thank you for your 24 years of service. I want to thank you for your love. I want to thank you for your voice, for being able to have the courage and the gumption to speak on what you feel, to stand true to what you stand true for, and also for the protection of others. I honor you for that. I really do.
You're very welcome.
Brains, now you go handle your business, okay? You go be honorable. We need you to like, love, and share. One more time. Like, love, and share. 3 times a charm. Come on, Dagmar. Like,
love, and share.
Because that's caring. We're providing information to you so that you can have an opinion, you can have an outlet, so that you don't have to feel suppressed that your voice is not important. It is important, and it will make a difference, okay? Each one must teach one, and that's what we do on The Edge and on Be Fearless podcast. All right? I'll talk to you later, brains. Be good. Bye-bye, Dagmar. Come back and see me again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.